So we're making green tamales today, but these tamales are different. They're vegan and they're vegetarian. And I decided to make them with a little bit of a twist. Instead of making them like with some mock meat substitute like jackfruit, mushrooms, and vital wheat gluten, I'm actually going to go back to the basics. I'm going to make these tamales just veggie. Delicious veggie tamales. I'm going to keep these tamales extremely simple. I'm going to be using poblano peppers, rajas, and I just have to get them ready. They're in a bag right now. And then I'm also going to be using zucchini. We're going to be using Mexican zucchini and Italian zucchini. Both of them, but you could just use Mexican. We're also going to be using some frozen corn, but that is going to be till the end. We've got our masa ingredients ready and measured out, but when we get to that step, I'll show you the ingredients. The first thing that we're going to start with is our salsa. Our salsa verde is the one that's going to make our green tamales what we call green tamales. So, we've got here some tomatillos. And these are tomatillos, if you don't know what they are. Tomatillos are a tomato, but they're green and they come in this little beautiful wrapper. And you just have to remove the wrapping and you add it to a bowl. You rinse off the tomatillos and then we get a pot. We get a nice pot and we're going to add our tomatillos in. We don't have to cut them. We just have to add them to the pot. And I love tamales. Tamales are so good and traditional in our holidays. We have tamales every single Christmas and New Year's. I love them. They're so good. Another ingredient that we're going to be using are serranos. And I want this salsa pretty spicy, so I'm going to be using 6 serranos. But if you want to keep this nice and mild, just use 1. It'll give it that kick you need and that balance. Now, if you don't like serranos at all, that's fine. Just use black pepper. Alrighty, so next step is to just cut the stems off of the serrano. These onions are very strong today. We're gonna cut it into 4ths and we add it to the pot. So we're gonna add some water all the way to the top. We want to cover the tomatillos. We want them to be submerged under the water. And we're going to transfer this to the stove and bring this to a boil until our ingredients are tender. So one thing I want to finish up is the filling to the tamales. I already have the zucchini ready. And this is the zucchini. All I really need to do is get my poblanos prepped. We want to remove all the skins. You want to remove all the seeds, and we want to slice them. And our tomatillos are boiling up. They still need some time. There's one thing that I want to do for our salsa to enhance the flavor. I got here a molcajete. I'm going to add about 8 to 10 garlic cloves. I'm going to add cumin seeds, coriander seeds. I'm going to add 3 black peppercorns. I'm going to add Himalayan pink salt, oregano, sage, marjoram, and some sofrito mix. So that's going to be the flavor. what we want to do is we're going to start mashing it up, okay? Alright, perfect. So, our paste is ready. And that's it. We just have to wait for our tomatillos to be tender. We're going to blend them up. Then we're going to transfer the salsa back into a saucepan, add the paste, and heat it up till it boils. And that's it. Alrighty, so our salsa is blended. And we didn't add any water because we know it was going to be very liquidy because of the tomatillos. Sometimes they can be a bit juicy, so don't use water when you blend your salsa. Blend it first. If it's too thick, add some water. But if it's not too thick, you'll find out that it has way more water than you think. So we're going to add that paste that we just did in the molcajete. I added some salt when I blended the salsa, but I didn't add too much salt because I know that the paste is very salty. So I'm going to give it a little stir, and I'm going to give it a little taste. Ooh, it's delicious. All it needs is to be cooked down. So I'm going to transfer this to a stove top and heat it up till it boils, and then I'm going to turn off the heat and I'm going to store it. The reason why I want to cook it down is because I want to make sure that the seeds and the garlic gets cooked as well. So the last step that we need to do is the masa. So here I have 2 cups of masa. I've got some baking powder and I've got some measuring cups here. And we got water. Add a little bit of salt. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Alright. So we're going to start with 1 cup. And keep in mind, our recipes have no oil. We're not using any butter. We're not using extra virgin olive oil. We're not using any fats. It's just the water and the flour. Meet the baking powder. So that's all. So we don't have to beat the masa as much as the other folks. The other people that mix their masa a lot is because of the butter and the shortening and the lard that they use. So we're not using that stuff. So we have to do the opposite. We have to knead less. Because if we knead a lot, it's going to get really mushy. And the texture is just going to be unpleasant. So let's knead less. So we're going to add 1 cup of water. And it's going to be 1-to-1 ratio. The most it's going to need is a tablespoon of water. But it's going to be a 1-to-1 ratio. I am 100% sure. So. And I'm babysitting a little kitty today, so you might hear her. So we have the 1-to-1 ratio in, and I can already feel how fluffy and moist this flour is. I'm not even going to need any more of it. I'm just going to give it a good whisk with my claws. I like to use this claws. And I like to rotate my hand around, give it 1, 2, 3, and 4, and there you go. That's it. So we want our masa nice and fluffy. We want it to be fluffy and almost cakey. Alright. Okay. we're going to let it rest because we don't want it to develop any gluten or anything like that. We just want it to chill. Alright. So that's it. That's our masa. Now, I'm going to mix out other ingredients because it's time to assemble these tamales. So stick with me. And this is the little kitty that I'm babysitting today. Her name is Precious. And she's precious. Alright. She's a little pretty one. She's a little pretty one. And there's Cash in the background. Jealous probably. So we have everything assembled. All my ingredients are here. Salsa, husk, the fillings, and the masa. Let's get started. So we're going to need the filling. And in many videos I have demonstrated how to make tamales. So if you want more demonstration, check out those videos. Today we're just having fun and hanging out. I'm not really going to show you a recipe of any kind, but it is a really good recipe. I'm going to get a scoop and I'm going to press it down. I probably need about a half a cup, half a spoon. Okay. And I just want to press it down a little bit. And then I'm going to add the rajas and the zucchini. And a little bit of corn. And we wrap it like a gift. Oh crap. A little bit of salsa. I'm gonna add a tablespoon worth of salsa. Okay, face it towards you, the bottom side, and fold it in. And I like to have like a little bowl. And there you go. Christmas is such a fun time for family, especially Hispanic families, especially if they grew up united and stuff. My family and I grew up really united, and the holidays we always celebrated. With amazing recipes. My mom created the recipes for the family, and we just kept going with the tradition. Hers was always tamales hondureños, Honduran tamales, and turkey. She would make yuca con carne, which is a Honduran dish. She definitely brought in a lot of Honduran-inspired dishes. So a nice scoop, and we just smash it down. Making sure that it's oval, but this way. And then we'll just add some of this good stuff. These are delicious balanced flavors, so they go really well together. I had a friend that did some tamales for me, and she put black beans and zucchini. She put corn. Ooh, it was so yummy. So I know that these ones are going to taste very lovely. It's going to take some time to make these tamales. So after I wrap these tamales, I steam them in a big pot with a steamer. And I steamed them for about an hour and 45 minutes. And this is the result. Savory, delicious tamales. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.